Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our first PIC meeting. Let's start with the land acknowledgements. Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous communities have long-standing relationships, both historic and modern, a territory on which our school board and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Suvla Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation. It is on these ancestral and treaty lands that we teach, live, and learn. The minutes were distributed in May of last year. I would like to put forward a motion to approve the minutes, and can I get some seconds, please?
Yeah, sorry, can I get your name? Alyssa. And Archie. Thank you.
Also, can we have a motion for to approve agenda and get us somebody who seconded it as well?
Okay, we're not getting our take. We're here.
Okay. Moving on, we would love to welcome back our trustee representative, Stephen Linton. We also welcome back Shayla Neilio as our trustee alternate for the school year. We're pleased to have you all join us and look forward to working together throughout the rest of the year. We would like to welcome the member, Chris Smith, representing North Secondary. We would also like to welcome new member Maria Abbott, representing elementary teaching.
So we wanted to begin with sharing a video that we saw this week at board, and it is good news from the system, and kind of shares a lot of things that have been occurring, that have been happening in school, and that leads to our multi-year strategic plan. So you'll be seeing a little bit more of these as we go through our different PIC meetings, and this is our first one.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of DDSB students and staff, we're excited to share a sample of stories that highlight our multi-year strategic plan, MYSP, Pillar of Meaningful Learning. Over the summer, the DDSB led several learning initiatives, including Great Beginnings and the Great Beginnings Afrocentric program for Black student success. These kindergarten transition programs, designed to ensure a positive start to school in September, provided culturally grounded and engaging experience for our youngest learners. Our summer camps also offered meaningful opportunities for growth and exploration, especially through our outdoor education programs at Durham Forest. Summer school programs across the district accommodated the attendance of over 12,500 secondary students. In-person summer school courses were held in July and asynchronous learning was offered in August. The annual Getting Ready for High School program prepared new grade 9 students for classes at their local high school, easing the transition into the new school year. Through their new After the Bell program, the Ignite Durham Learning Foundation, IDLF, filled cupboards with groceries and provided gift cards for families who needed support through the summer. From Stuff the Bus drives to lively bargain sales, IDLF worked hand in hand with local charities and neighbors to make sure every student steps into September with a backpack full of supplies, confidence, and hope. At the end of August, school and office administrators gathered at Uxbridge Secondary School for the DDSB's annual Activation Day event. Highlights of the day included an update on the DDSB multi-year strategic plan, the Maxwell B. Nelson Leadership Award presentation to Principal Alicia Russell, a student panel discussion, and engaging breakout sessions. Facility services kept busy over the summer with heating and ventilation upgrades, water main replacements, washroom upgrades, accessibility projects, roofing, and window upgrades. Custodial teams cleaned facilities, refinished floors at all locations, and attended training sessions at the Education Center. The maintenance department completed many work orders across the district, assisted with school-based project work, and are in the process of hiring new staff. The first day of school burst to life across the district with eager footsteps on freshly polished floors and the warm greetings of principals, teachers, and support staff. Families and students buzzed with anticipation as a sense of possibility filled the air. Here's to a year of growth, discovery, and moments that will inspire us all.
Thank you to Clara from RH Cornish Public School for reading this month's MYSP update.
We will now take a few moments to hear from our members who wish to be considered for the vacant co-chair position. The position will span the 2025-26, 2026-27 school years.
So if you take a look at the requirements of the office of the chair, we do it on a 2-year annual, 2-year term, but we stagger it so that next year Darlene will be vacating and somebody else will be coming in, and the vice chair will become they're co-chairs, but they will be still in the role so that there's some transition ability. So if there is anybody interested from our members, our parent members, to be another vice chair, going once, going twice, pushing.
I'll do it if nobody else wants to.
Is there anybody else that would?
It explains.
I'm playing. That's what I'm saying. Okay. What's up?
Okay.
Blessings
To ask you.
do ask us. No, go vote. Lovely. Makes it a lot easier.
As we begin each PIC meeting, it's important to revisit our roles, responsibilities, and the scope of our discussions to ensure shared understanding and focus. So just as PIC reminders and norms, the role of PIC member is to provide advice to your school board on parent engagement and ways to communicate with parents, develop strategies and initiatives the board could use to effectively engage parents in improving student achievement and well-being, share information with and supporting the work of all school councils and the school board. Reminders for our PIC meetings. This is a live stream and recorded public session. If you're joining us virtually, we ask that you have your cameras on during our meeting. We adhere to our bylaws, particularly Section 9 related to demonstrating decorum and respect for other members of the PIC. Please do not share individual students/teacher or school concerns or information in this public forum. If you have individual questions, we can support them offline. The Parent Involvement Committee primary role is to support, encourage, and enhance parent engagement at the board level to improve student achievement and well-being. This purpose is achieved primarily by providing advice on parent engagement to the board, communicating with and supporting school community councils, and undertaking activities to help parents support their children's learning at home and at school. Here is another reminder for roles and responsibilities. PIC members who must uphold their responsibilities under these policies and procedure within the scope of PIC mandate and within the scope of their role, authority, and influence in all meetings, actions, recommendations, decision-making, communication, and initiatives, including the responsibility to treat other members and participants with dignity and respect, promote and protect human rights, identify, prevent, and address human rights barriers, issues, and discriminatory structures. So I would like to put forward a motion and for the continuity of New Year and startup support. A committee member may apply for additional terms as long as they are eligible. The member must let the committee know on the last meeting of the year, and the committee must vote on this request. Is everyone okay with that? Is there any questions?
So the change on that is just, it's still the 2 years. It's just that letting the committee know the very last that we want to continue. So that we sometimes see a little bit of a discrepancy in waiting to find out if there's a vacancy or there's not a vacancy. Similarly to what we've done this year. This year we tried to have a September meeting so that we can get some planning done early. But that means that we have to finalize those decisions for the chairs in June. So if we go back to that motion for Berlin,
Can we vote and approve the motion? People need to somebody to.
Yes, we're going to do everything else to vote. Anybody voting, so not only parents can vote.
Yep.
So I see a couple of people that popped on, so welcome. I see Stephen Linton, our trustee, is joining us virtually. So welcome, Stephen. I'm wondering if you had anything you'd like to say to our committee, strong committee.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I can't be there in person, unfortunately. Got thwarted by the traffic coming out of Toronto. But looking forward to a great school year. There was some great initiatives created out of this committee. You're right. Okay, sorry, someone's choking here. There was some great initiatives created out of the committee and looking at supporting them further into this year. And looking forward to being with you in person for the next meeting. Thank you all.
And Chris, I see you as well, new to our team. Would you like to introduce yourself and just let us know where you're from and just a little bit about you?
Yeah, hi, nice to meet you. Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it. Work went a little later than expected. So we recently moved up to Cannington. So my son had started grade 9 at Brock High School. And I thought that, you know what, why not? People always have so much to say about the school board and things like activities that could happen. So why not be a part of it and see if, you know, what changes could be made or just how things are run.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So we'll switch gears to our PIC subcommittee introductions. Many of you have been a part of the subcommittees last year, and many of the subcommittees have already been doing really amazing work. We have a list of those subcommittees available, and so there is opportunity to either stay on the same one that you had served on last year, or if you decide you want to try something different, that is an option as well. Joanne will circulate the sign-up sheets, and please feel free to decide either which way you'd like to continue. So I'll move into just brief overviews, just as reminders of what these subcommittees had initiated. And in planning the upcoming school year, it could either be a continuation of what was initiated, or if you have other goals that you'd like to set, that's also the way you can vote. So for the communication subcommittee, the purpose of the subcommittee is to share engagement opportunities taking place throughout the board and region for schools and families through various channels such as D2L, social media, the newsletters that we circulate, and surveys. The Engaging Diverse Communities or Hub Space Subcommittee is tasked with ensuring there is well-balanced representation of programs and initiatives, as well as engagement opportunities that accurately reflect the diverse population of our students and families. And this is by leveraging community connections to maximize the opportunities within our youth hub spaces, in order to make them more accessible and make them reflective of the communities that we have within our. The Engagement Speaker Series Subcommittee is tasked with planning guest speaker events that many of you see at your schools through the SCCs that you are a part of. And the topics that come forward are guided by feedback and survey data that the committee uses to select speakers based on what the family's caregivers are interested in. The events are meant to promote connection through initiatives such as watch parties to encourage greater involvement within the school community. We have our programs subcommittee as well, and they identify and find solutions to involve more parents in support of student achievement and well-being. Funding is provided by the Ministry of Education to support these initiatives. And then finally, we have our SCC support and regional SCC subcommittee. And the purpose of this subcommittee is to support initiatives directly related to the support and success of SCCs, including the annual regional SCC meetings.
So that's just really a snippet of those subcommittees. And as Fatima said, we need to, in those committees, redefine maybe a goal and what's the metrics and outcomes that we want to see. So lots of opportunities in those spaces if you have some further ideas within those subcommittees. And as I said, we'll be having those meetings coming up, which is great that we're starting this now so that it's not closer to December, which is what was happening last year. We do have two major events that are happening that are connected to us as a PIC committee. The first is the Central School Community Council SAC meeting. This is based on some feedback that we had. 2 years ago, we did a Central SCC Community Council meeting here at the board. It actually was done in February of, I think it was 2023. And it was really, really successful. Lots of participation. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then, but people were asking for it to be more regionalized. So they were asking for some regional events. So last year we did regional events. We did one in Ajax Pickering at JCR. So we did it at a high school. All of them were actually at high schools, except for even here. So the Whitby one was, Oshawa Whitby was done at Sinclair. And then we had the Brock Uxbridge Scugog done at Port Fairy High School. Then we got feedback and they said they missed the regional event. So we're deciding instead to start with the regional event to get that planning going, networking going between different SCC communities. And then in February, we'll do some regional events. So that's the hope for that day. What the plan looks like for the SCC Community Council, there'll be a session where people will come in, there'll be community partners that you can walk around and get some information from here in the foyer. We'll have dinner served with some food from Sinclair students who will be serving a little bit of a semi-dinner. Didn't think we did, similar to what we have here. And then we will start with a little bit of an explanation and reminder and celebration of a few of our programs. So people are very interested in those pieces. There's things we need to highlight. So there'll be a really short video. Then there will be a little bit of a an introduction from one of our other superintendents or system leads around some documents that we were trying to push out to parents and get some feedback on. And then we're going to have a little breakout session, 45 minutes. It will be sign up, and there'll be some of our central leadership teams that will be offering some different sessions that you can go to. And then finally, there will be some networking in some different spaces with people from your area. The audience is our SCC chair, and an administrator so that they can come and do some planning together about what their year is going to look like with their SCC, including programs. That's something that they're thinking about. We often have people say, can we bring more people? So we're going to probably have a wait list because sometimes some schools aren't able to come on that day. But we do have over 135 schools. So when you times that by 2, it's a bit of a challenge for safety and fire regulations to have everybody to the space. But we will do we send out a survey. We know that many schools haven't done their first SEC meeting, so they don't know maybe who their chair is. So it will probably come out the 30th to the principals, who will then have to share their chair. And the 15th is when this is occurring. And what I want to see, because before we didn't even have this meeting before we actually had the first community council meeting. Now that we're here, I'm hoping to have some volunteers that would be willing to help support everyone. So we'll also have a sign-up sheet. If you're available on that day, let us know. We'll do at the end of the night, and then we'll give you a couple of jobs to do that night and support. We'll introduce you as part of the PIC team, so there's a face to people in regions that people want to talk to you. So that's the first event. Does we have any questions about that first event that you might have? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering that.
Sorry. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry, I didn't see you on there. Yeah, go ahead.
No problem. I know it's terrible. I can't be there. It was October 23rd is the day you said, you mentioned?
No, the first date is the Central School Community Council. It's October 15th. That's the first
15th.
event.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Could we come and hand up with everybody's program and like the program and so that they use?
Yeah. So what we've done in the past at the regional events, we gave a list of like an Excel spreadsheet, and it had a little bit of that information, not all, because it's 135. There's schools over time. But yes, we do have a list that we'll be able to share in those networking sections to take a look at. Absolutely.
And then it was my comment 2 years ago is that we divided by region. But I thought you better if you did region, elementary, and then just high schools altogether, because it's a very different.
No, agree.
So that was my 2 years ago. I was pretty up.
Yeah, it's hard. We can have a separate one for secondary because there are only 20 schools.
Yeah.
There's 18 now. Sorry, 18. I was counting DDSB at home, but and then some alternative schools that end up being 20 total. So we can do that. Not a bad idea in those spaces. We can actually set up a room just for high schools. Great idea. Thank you for that one. And then the next one is our Volunteer of Distinction Award. So hoping that you're able to come as a co-chair because you'll be on stage. Okay. So Volunteer of Distinction, October 23rd. We thank all the parents and community members that volunteer in our school systems. It's a lovely event. And our 2 chairs really are the hosts for the night. But again, would love to have some people sign up. In the past, we've used many of our system leads here, but I really would love to have the face of our parents welcoming other community members in or saying some of the names of the people getting the awards. So again, if you are available on the 23rd, would love to have you and give you a job. So those are my plugs for the night for those 2 spots.
And there's also a sign-up sheet for both those events.
Yeah. Yes.
Start the speech.
For this item.
I've already signed. We will meet the meeting dates approved by the PIC committee and a new date for November meeting, as the original one that was shared in our agenda conflicts with parent-teacher interviews. So we have 2 alternative dates: Monday, November 24th, 2025, or Thursday, November 27th.
So I wanted to just give you a moment to think about those dates and see if you have some availability, if there's one that's better than the other. You say it again. Oh, yes, one, right there. Monday, November, sorry. 24 or the 27th.
So can we just, how many are in favor for November 24th? It's a Monday.
I'm okay with it. So.
Or is that November 24th?
Yeah. It's. Yeah, and then the 27th. I'm okay with that. Looks like the 24th. Yeah, we're okay with either.
Yeah.
It looks like the 24th was the winner. More good copy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
So some other exciting pieces to keep you informed better and to also have you help support our SECs better. So this year, you're all going to have DDSB email accounts. Okay, so we'll be setting those up for you. And as a system, working with our communications department, but also our departments, we're going to come up with a monthly SEC PowerPoint that the chairs can share at their SEC. So it will be some updates, some things that maybe are happening for us as PIC, but also it might be reminders about some event that's happening with our anti-oppression department, some different things that are coming up. And that will give some information for the chairs to actually share with their own SEC. But what we want to do, and we'll do this after this finishes, we're going to ask the PIC members who are regional members, so for Oshawa Elementary, Secondary, and so on, to do a quick little hi, this is who I am. We're going to videotape you. And that is going to go out with that greeting. So they have a face to their representation when we're sending it out. And we're going to ask them, give them your email. So in case there's something they have questions on, you can bring it back to this team. We'll kind of find out if there's some general themes prior to our next PIC meeting, because maybe there's an actual expert in our system who can come and speak to that and support some of the questions that are happening with your families. So I think it's a great opportunity to get a little bit more feedback from our SEC communities through you as their regional representative. Okay. So that's kind of our plan. You can think about that, and if you have some other ideas that you would like to do, please reach out. But today we'll share about how that's going to look. There are some people that are not here, and we'll figure out those pieces as well. So no worries to those online like Chris, no worries. And then and B's here too. Hello, B. Just sharing a little bit of for next year about this year what we're doing, and we're going to do a little bit of the video of you, everybody, to your representative group, to whatever area, municipality that you're supporting. So hope that makes some sense. Yeah, excellent.
Moving on, if now if you don't have any other questions or concerns, then we can, I would like to put motion forward to adjourn the meeting. We'll need some people in favor.
Carrie Lee. Carrie and Archie. Carrie and Archie. Yeah, very short one today because we're going to do some stuff afterwards, which is our videotape and thinking about those committees as well. So thank you for your support online, Chris and B. I'm sorry that we'll connect with you after the fact, okay?